TALAPRO-1 study is the first phase 2 trial looking at the efficacy and safety of talazoparib in men with metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer and DNA damage repair deficiency. So mostly, of course, BRCA1, BRCA2, but also other gene alterations. So the trial met its primary endpoint. It showed that indeed talazoparib is clearly active in these men with usually aggressive cancers. And actually, these men had already exhausted docetaxel and next-generation hormonal agents such as abiraterone or enzalutamide. The overall response rate by RECIST criteria is approximately 30% in the entire population. And the PSA response rate is approximately 46%. So there is clear efficacy in this trial. Now, of course, the efficacy is not the same across the board. If you look, for example, at the two main genes, BRCA2 and BRCA1, the efficacy is higher. The overall response rate is 46%, and the PSA response rate is even higher. Approximately 2/3 of men actually derive efficacy by PSA, and the radiographic progression-free survival is about 11 months, so almost a year, in these men, again, with aggressive disease. So very clear efficacy for BRCA1 and BRCA2 alterations, but we also found some efficacy in other genes. And this is also a new finding in this trial. For example, some men with ATM alterations derive some benefit. It's a minority, but they do exist. And the same applies to some men with PALB2 alterations. Well, I guess it's another demonstration that PARP inhibition works in this setting. Of course, there are some side effects. What we saw is basically what we expected to see, with mostly GI toxicity, which is usually acceptable by most of my patients, and this was also reported in the trial, and also some hematological toxicity, mostly anemia with talazoparib. So based on this good efficacy safety balance, it was decided to launch a phase 3 program. And for example, the TALAPRO-2 trial is currently enrolling patients. So we'll see, of course, whether this is confirmed with a randomization process. In TALAPRO-2, men with castration-resistant prostate cancer who are candidate to receive enzalutamide are randomized to receive either enzalutamide alone or together with talazoparib. There is a subgroup of men with DNA repair deficiency, but also some men without those alterations. We hope that talazoparib might help also some of these men. So this is currently enrolling patients, and hopefully in the coming years we'll have the readouts. Right, this is indeed very important, because to get these patients, you need to screen many patients. So this can be done either on tissue or on blood. And you basically need to screen approximately 10 men to get 1 or 2 in the trial. So this is a quite large process. But again, this is not exceptional to TALAPRO-1. This is also something that we saw in all phase 2 trials looking at PARP inhibitors. You need to be prepared to screen numerous men to get a few in the trial. This is very important to know. But I think this is very important because, again, these men don't have so many options when they have exhausted taxane and next-generation hormonal therapy. Given the efficacy that we see with talazoparib, it's really worth the effort. Well, I guess one important thing with talazoparib is that it's perhaps the best trapper for PARP. So it's a kind of different mechanism of action as compared to other PARP inhibitors. Now, whether this makes a true clinical difference as compared to the other PARP inhibitor, we don't really know, but of course, data will tell. Well, there are many other new treatments coming to us. For example, PSMA targeting is worth mentioning, and perhaps especially for those men with DDR alterations, there are data out supporting even higher efficacy for PSMA targeting in these men. We're waiting, for example, for the VISION phase 3 trial with PSMA lutetium, and the data are expected very soon now, so I'm very excited to see them.